Manifestation is not a false hope. It's something that you have to sit and put intention behind. People are like, oh, you're just like a daydreamer, your head is in the clouds. Yep, because that's exactly where they should be. That's exactly where dreams come true. I'd rather my head be in the clouds and some of those things happen than me live in reality and be miserable. All right, babies, welcome back to another Bayleigh Daily podcast episode. And today's podcast episode is all about the power of manifestation. I have gotten numerous requests on doing a specific podcast about this. I talk about it a lot in other podcasts, but I've never done a podcast specifically dedicated to just the art and the power of manifestation. So I'm going to jump right in. And I'm going to start with just a little bit of affirmation on manifestation. So I am a master manifester. Anything that I desire comes easily and smoothly without resistance into my experience. There's nothing in this world that I cannot have access to. If it's out there, then I can have access to it. Everything that I want to experience is in my grasp. Everything that I desire for my life will flow into my life. It's meant for me. And I just say things like that to myself. And it's so funny because I don't think that's normal. And I never really realized that other people don't do things like that until I started talking about this with my friends. I genuinely speak life over myself on a regular basis and over the people in my life and over the things that I want to happen and flow into my life. And I realized that other people do the opposite. They doomsday. So I have a few friends that are like, oh, I'm a doomsdayer. Once I go into a negative thought, I spiral. And I'm like, oh, that's so funny because I'm the opposite. I am, and I think it's called, if you've ever read Jerry and Esther's books, the Abraham books, it's called a rampage of appreciation. And I choose to go on the other side of a rampage of appreciation versus a spiral or a doomsday. So if I think of a good thought, I'm going to continue to build on it of like, all right, I woke up this morning and I have a roof over my head. There's clothes on my back. My children are fed. I have a husband that loves me. I am in a warm bed. I don't have to immediately rush off to go to a job that I hate. I can go on and on and on. And then those feelings, as you build on them, they make you feel better and better about your day and better about your life. And that's really what manifestation is. I think people automatically assume like, oh, and manifestation has become such a cliche word, but people assume like, oh, manifestation is unrealistic expectations that you just throw into the atmosphere. No, manifestation is gratitude. And what you're doing is you're tuning into the frequency that is your set point. So you're tuning into the frequency that you're at, right? And then you're realizing, okay, this is the place that I am. Do I want to go higher? Which my answer is always yes. How can I do that? And you can do that always with gratitude and appreciation. So where am I now? I'm feeling grateful for where I am. Ooh, wouldn't it be nice if I could be here? And then you just start spiraling on that and you start tuning your frequency. And what it is it raises your vibration. It raises your vibration to be at a point where you can receive these things. Because the whole point of manifestation is that there's no limits in the world. Anything that you want is already out there and available. You just have to open your frequency to be able to receive it. And a lot of people don't get that. So, and I love this topic, so I can talk about this forever. But the thing is you have to continue to raise your vibration because there's nobody else in the world. Like, even if you think of like the queens, the princesses, the Kim Kardashians, anybody else, nobody else is more deserving than you. Nobody else woke up and, oh, they're better than me, so they can get it. No, you can have anything you want too, but you don't believe it in your head that you can have it, or you think that the access is like forbidden fruit. It's not. Open yourself up and it'll start coming. So story number one about manifestation while we're here. Everybody asks, now that I've been married for 5 years, how I got my husband. And it's so funny because some people will just be like, oh, it was luck, or oh, and I'm like, nope, I manifested my man. I really genuinely did, because I would have a running list, and I still have it in my phone to this day, of things that I wanted to see in a relationship or things that I wanted in my partnership with my future husband. And every year I would go to that list and I would add and delete and scrap, and I would get everything I asked for every single time that I put the list into the atmosphere. But the problem was my list wasn't specific enough. I would be like, oh, I need him to be this and this and this and that. And then I would get a man who's everything on that list. And then I'd be like, oh, I missed a big thing. And I would have to go back to the list, go back to my drawing board and be like, okay, let me make sure every single detail that I want in a man is on this list. And then the year before I met my husband, I made the list. I'm going to read it for you in a second. And it's not funny, but I said, okay, I'm going to write this list and I'm going to put it away and I'm not going to think about a man. This year is for me. This is my selfish season. If you haven't watched that podcast, go back and watch it. But this is my selfish season. I'm going to turn up. Everything's about Bayleigh. I don't even want to hear about a man. I'm just going to put this to the side. And it happened so fast. A year to date after I wrote the list, I was supposed to have a year by myself, but a year to date, we were already engaged to be married. So here's the list. So I did it in prayer form because that is what felt best to me. And it says, I will have a tall, fit, kind, and handsome husband that loves and reveres the Lord. He will be faithful to his words and his commitment to me. He will be my best friend, and I, along with God, of course, will be his center. He will be the head of our household, and I will submit to him under his authority, under God. He won't get tired of me, and we won't argue. Our voices will not be raised at one another. We will have the approval and support of both sides of our families. There will be no issues of infertility, mental stability, infidelity, or financial stability. God will provide and guide us. Our life will be full of the joy of the Lord, and we will live in abundance on earth and in heaven. Amen. Me. And that makes me cry because I genuinely went and I petitioned the Lord and I said, okay, God, let me run this back. I'm listing all these things that might be of the world. Let me focus and let me center of what I actually need. And I think that's another thing that we talk about a lot in the manifestation culture. What you want and what you need are two different things sometimes. So you can say, oh, I want this, this, and that. But you have to be in alignment with what the greater purpose for your life is when you ask for things. And your needs will come before your wants. So I said, okay, Lord, let me mesh the things that I desire and the things that I know that I need. And that's what showed up to me. So I was very, very grateful for that. But other than that, I'm like, I feel like I just manifested everything. And I know that it is because when I receive things, I feel that feeling of like deja vu or whatever, where I'm like, wow, I really prayed for this. I'll stop and I'll be in moments where I'll have my kids or we'll be running around the world because I like to travel. And I'll be like, wow, like I really put this on my vision board. Swag and I both are big vision board people. I have been doing it since I was little, but there's a scripture that's like, write it down and make it plain and like petition the Lord for what you want. And I always put that at the top of my board whenever I'm making a vision board, because it's like, this is with full intention behind it, what I really desire to manifest in my life. So I'll write things down, and I have about 5 or 6 vision boards where I just have to continue to make them, even sometimes before the year is up, because everything on my vision board just comes true. So what I'm saying to you all is that manifestation is not a game. It's not like a false hope. It's something that you have to sit and put intention behind. Anything you want in your life, you have to sit and you have to put energy behind it so that the energy can flow. So you need to take it seriously. Wake up in the morning, and if you're like, oh, I'm not a meditator, okay, I feel like we're all meditators, because if you can daydream, you can meditate. But sure, say you don't want to call it meditation. Wake up in the morning and daydream about your deepest desires, and let your brain just kind of spiral of like, oh, wow, like creating this fairy tale place in your head. I call it Bayleigh's world. And you see that manifested. So people are like, oh, you're just like a daydreamer. Your head is in the clouds. Yep, because that's exactly where they should be. That's exactly where dreams come true. And I'd rather my head be in the clouds and some of those things happen than me live in reality and be miserable. So just allow yourself to take some time, 10 minutes in the morning or 10 minutes at night, and genuinely say, okay, I'm just going to close my eyes and think about the best possible thing that could happen to me. If the desires, if you can feel them, if you can see them, then you can accomplish them. And there's so many different ways to do it. I will link a book. It's called Ask and It Is Given. And there's exercises in the back of it, because everybody learns differently. So for me, I'm a very visual person. I can daydream all day. I can see everything in my mind. That's just like how my brain works. But some people are audio. Some people need to write it down. So if you want to learn about scripting, I do scripting all the time, and I can read you a script. Like, I just have so many things, guys. Okay, so this is my scripting for my housewife life. I'm going to just start with my celery juice for now and circle back to my breakfast in a little bit. The nanny will bring the babies downstairs around 9 a.m. after they've done their morning routine and I've already done my workout. Their smiles and hugs just start my morning off so right every single day. I'm so grateful to have healthy and happy babies. Chris wakes up just in time for all of us to eat together. and we just linger around and spend family time for a little bit. And then we finally get around to finishing our breakfast. Then the kids want to go to their playroom and run around for a little bit. So we play some games and let them burn off some energy. I want to do a little shopping before nap time. So I have the nanny help load all the babies into the car, and we head to the mall. I love the mall because they just get to run around and I get to shop. I already have what I'm wearing for the gala for tonight, but I just want to look and see if there's any last minute accessories that pop off of my outfit. I ended up just grabbing a few things for makeup and getting a smoothie, then heading back to the house. The kids are a little bit sleepy, so we all lie down for a nap and relax in bed. I relax in bed while they're sleeping and just read a little bit. But you see this, none of this has happened. This is a complete world made up in my head, but it feels so real to me. And every time I read it, I can feel myself in that moment, and then I know that those vibrations are coming to me. So when this happens and I have my kids in their playroom and we're sitting and I'm looking at my babies in just awe, I'm going to think back on the script and say, wow, I brought this into my atmosphere. Yeah, there's so many tools, but I can, like I said, I can talk about this all day, every day. I just want you guys to be the best possible versions of yourself. And in order to do that, you have to bring things into your atmosphere. The law of attraction says all you have to do is ask, and it's already given. So if you ask and it's giving, the only other job that you need to do is get out of your own way. So I practice no self-sabotage. I practice, like I said, rampage of appreciation. Stop doomsdaying. Stop talking down to yourself. Stop thinking that your dreams are not real, because if they're in your head, then God has placed them there, and it's not other people's jobs to see your vision. The vision was given to you. So you have to be a good steward over the vision that you have. You're the one that has to work hard for it to come true. Most of the time, the people around you aren't going to see your vision. And if you're waiting on them to affirm you, then you're going to be waiting forever. So genuinely, if you guys want to talk more about it, I'm always here. If you want to leave anything in the comments, I am definitely down to discuss. But when I say this is like my passion and I can genuinely talk about this forever, I mean it. But we only have so much time on the podcast. So I love you guys. I'm glad that you tuned in. And like I said, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment below. Bye, baby. See you next time.